Hey guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel where I inform you, educate you, and inspire you. So that being said, I'm just a messenger. So good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. It is 11:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and today is Monday, March 21st, 2022. So with that being said, I hope you guys are enjoying your evening, your morning, or your afternoon, as well as staying hydrated by drinking plenty of water. My water bottle is empty, so I need to go ahead and fill it up after this video, as well as geographically, depending on where you live, depending on the weather, staying safe and being prepared for wherever you live, as well as getting from in to your destination safely. So for today's video, we will go over and discuss how to motivate yourself every day. So that being said, one, you guys, as you guys could see, I try to make two ponytails, but I'm a real person in real life who experiences life every single day. I know who I am, I'm comfortable who I am, and I don't go on my way proving my point to other people about who it is that I'm meant to be. So that being said, on this channel, I suggest and advise information by speaking from a place of experience and wisdom, from opportunities, experiences from my transportation, my background, informative information and exposure every day, as well as informing and educating you guys by using natural resources such as going outside, using the internet, using dictionary, the source, as well as providing history that has been documented on this earth. So with that being said, any and everything that you want is already here. It is up to you to choose, as well as processing the information. So because I'm a messenger, I'm suggesting advising information. If these videos resonate with you, make sure you're giving this video a big thumbs up by leaving a like. Make sure you're commenting down below and make sure you're subscribed and turning on your notification bell if it's not on already, as well as following me on my Instagram and Twitter at Ty_guidance to stay up to date. Now, with that being said, everybody in life does not have the same resources, the information, whether it comes from technology, informative information, educational information, to transportation, to finances, to supernatural and everyday experiences when it comes to life. So everyone does not process or interpret information the same way. The reason why last year, specifically strategically, I was breaking down keywords from the title/topic by using a dictionary was to refresh you guys and to reassure you guys, not for people to be so content with labels and words that people are not able to understand how they feel. When it comes to healing, it is a process, so there's no right or wrong way to do so, but the more energy and effort that you apply is more likely for you to understand and interpret the information. So when it comes to motivating yourself every day, because I'm suggesting advising information, it's really important to be mindful of your intentions as well as what it is that you want. So what I want to suggest and advise to the collective really quickly is to go ahead and purchase themselves a notebook, a journal, a diary, or using an iPad, a laptop, some form of place and space where you're able to document information. And the reason why it's important for you to document the information is because you want to understand where and what is causing you to feel triggered or what is causing you to feel invalidated. In order to solve a problem, you have to start from the root. That's like anything in life, everything comes from an origin, everything comes back to history. Now, when it comes to this channel, when it comes to my intentions, all lives matter, but to be very honest, one thing that has been brushed under the rug for so long is projection and false information. Of course, as this year continues to go on, so will the messages that I have for the collective. If these messages resonate with you, continue to watch. If these messages are not for you, I just want to suggest and advise that you don't focus on people, places, and things that are not worthy of or worth your time. So when it comes to you being motivated every day, you have to know who you are. In order for me to come on here and post this information, the reason why I like to give you guys knowledgeable information and informative information is not to be braggadocious and not to be superior, it's not to be arrogant, it's not to be full of myself, but to really understand and allow people to interpret the information that's going to help them. When it comes to healing, I've already healed myself spiritually, supernaturally, financially, emotionally, physically, and materially. Those are all different areas in my life. But when it comes to healing, understanding your intentions and defining your worth. And when it comes to finding your worth, the reason why I want you guys to get a notebook is so you can sit here and take some time to reflect and write down a pros and a cons list, as well as the needs and wants. In order to figure out who you are, in order to figure out what your purpose is, in order for you to be motivated every day, you have to have a why. So I'm pretty sure we heard of who, what, when, where, and why. That's the same thing when it comes to our life. Our past, our present, and our future is all connected. once again, because of the history, because how deeply rooted we have so many issues in the world, it starts from there. So most people, they're born into the world, regardless of where you are, and you're accustomed to environment. Your environment then now is going to determine your exposures, your opportunity, and your education. If you do not leave this environment, you are only going to be able to see Monday through Friday, Saturday through Sunday, December through January, what it is that you've been accustomed to. And that's the same thing when it comes to your worth. If people in society have been negative, have been ignorant, have been racist, have not been racist, regardless, judgmental, this is all the information that you're going to feel as though that it is you. Once again, people that live in the flesh, people that live in their ego do not understand that you're not your body. You're not even the flesh. You have flesh that's inside of you. That's why you have eyes, a mouth, a head, a heart, brain, and knowing that everybody in the world does not have these physical organs as well as the supernatural ability to see, ability to hear. So being grateful will also allow you to motivate yourself every day. And when it comes to your past, your present, and your future, like I said, because they're aligned, taking some time to realize how were you raised. You cannot blame. What I want to suggest and advise is not blaming other people in your environment, like your mom, your dad, your guardian, your peers, of how you choose to react and what it is that you want for yourself, because that's considered outside validation. When it comes to you motivating yourself every day, you have to be able to acknowledge, this is the environment that I grew up in, this is what I've been exposed to, this is the information that I've been taught. It doesn't justify it and it doesn't make it right or wrong, but it's up to me to accept it. Once you're able to acknowledge and accept, you can then now start making action. You can then start adapting to what it is. If you don't like where you live, if you don't, like financially, emotionally, or supernaturally are able to make a difference immediately, knowing that you want to start from somewhere, like knowing that, again, if you live in a certain environment for a certain time and you want to leave and you only know what you know, or your parents only know what they know, not to justify people's behavior, realizing that in order for you to make a difference, you have to understand that you want to be different, and being different is who you are. When it comes to motivating yourself every day, having a form of inspiration by knowing that people only know what they know. So in order for you to educate yourself, inform yourself, taking some time to realize that you are naive, taking some time to realize that your parents may have been ignorant, meaning they lack knowledge, taking the time to realize that you're ignorant, I'm ignorant, myself included. Like, we only know what we've been taught. And me personally, I could suggest and advise the information that I've been taught, and I'm patiently allowing myself to gradually, one, be specific and strategic when it comes to the information, because I'm being used just like anybody, everybody else, supernaturally. I don't move on man time. I don't move through physical material items. I know that this is a supernatural experience. I know spiritually that's all I am. I'm not a flesh. I'm not my body. My name is a word. My words is letters. The letters are definitions. Where do words come from? They come back from the symbolic designs from history, like specifically my bloodline, our ancestors. For people who know, and for people to not understand that it's a bigger picture, like the people who control the world have this information. That's why they are superior. That's why you have to fill out your race when it comes to job applications. You have to have a lot of division and corruption, because at the end of the day, if everybody had equal rights, it wouldn't be so chaotic. People wouldn't have to heal themselves. People wouldn't have to feel like they have ADHD, OCD. People wouldn't have to feel a poverty mindset or feel that they have to be above. And so because the world is not what it is until people individually heal themselves or work on themselves, or people stand together. And what I mean by people is the people who are not in charge of the world, the people who do not control people, the people who are not dividing us, the people who are not filling out job applications with having a race, allowing a certain group of people to have certain privileges that other people have. Like, you have people in the world who don't see in other countries that are less fortunate. And me personally, from my experiences, I have traveled outside of the country. That's why you have certain other groups of minorities who don't necessarily care for certain other minorities, as well as living in different states, seeing all kinds of walks of people. I lived from the East Coast, from New York City all the way down to Georgia, as well as living in the Midwest, the West Coast to Colorado, as well as Pennsylvania and Midwest Wisconsin, as well as, like I said, going outside of the countries and exposing life. And when it comes to exposure and motivating yourself, you want to understand like what you're going through and how it makes you feel. So progressing, learning to have a momentum. So healing yourself, knowing that it's a choice. Once again, the reason why I want you guys to get a notebook is so you're able to understand, when it comes to healing with any problem, you have to go to the root. It's not to say that everybody in the world is racist, or that everyone has the same opportunities in life, because they don't. But in order for you to be realistic, in order for us to stand together, because you stand together, or you know, people would divide, you have to be able to acknowledge those areas and being honest about it, and knowing that if you believe in something, stand on it. If you are, you know, ignorant, you lack knowledge, you get information, you educate yourself. And if you're not willing to, that is your choice, because at the end of the day, everybody in the world is not going to choose, you know, to be strong and, you know, kill themselves. Everyone's not going to want to believe in equality. Everyone's not going to want to do certain things. And it's not my place to sit here and force people or allow people to, you know, think any less than or above. But if you know something, you speak on it. And if you are willing to sit here like myself and read the words from the dictionary, you use the internet, you educate yourself, you travel, you know your history. If you know, you'll speak on it. Like, for those who have a platform, like, this space is for vulnerability. This space is for people who are not aware of themselves. And me personally, one thing I had to realize before I was able to really find myself was understanding, you know, who I am. And of course, everyone does not have the same experiences. So when it comes to motivating yourself, you just want to reflect and understand that it's a bigger picture. Like, life has been going on and life is going to continue to go on. So don't allow anybody to scare you and say that the world is going to end. You guys, we live in a supernatural galaxy. The world is not going to end. The only way the world, God forbid, the only way the world's going to end is if every single person supernaturally, you know, is no longer here. But that's impossible, because your spirit will continue to live on forever. Like, in the flesh, yes. And that's why a lot of people are very egotistical, and they are living in their flesh, and they're not able to comprehend or understand or educate themselves, is because people live in the flesh. And what I mean by flesh is the physical and material world, the actual 3D world, looking from the ground and not looking at the stars, not looking at the sky, not realizing that there's a sun and that there's a moon, and that you have wildlife, animal life, you have bees, you have whales, you have dolphins, you have dogs. Those are all forms of spirits. Like, when people physically die from experience, your body will decay, which means your body will go out from the day you were born. Why do you think, if you ever pay attention, we are baby fetuses, we are baby aliens before we are physical human beings? That's why it takes 9 to 10 months to preheat you in your oven, your mom's oven, and then you come out and you're just a little baby. And they're like, well, how are you 1 day years old? It's the difference between mankind and divine timing. And of course, me personally, how I carry myself is not my job to be like, well, if you don't believe in God, or if you don't know, what people choose to do, they're going to do. But spirit recognize spirit. And in order for you to align yourself, what I want to suggest and advise for you to stay motivated is really getting to know who you are and understanding why you're here. Because if you're coming across these videos, if you are trying to heal, you have to know that when it comes to your life, everyone doesn't experience the same opportunities that you have, and that people are not going to. People only know what they know. So, for example, me educating the collective, if people are not willing to apply themselves and actually practice daily and take the time to heal, and knowing that it's a process, and really believe in themselves, they're not going to. If you say that you can't do something, you can't do it. If you say that you can do something, you can. A lot of people do not realize, once again, it's a spiritual world. It's always been a spiritual world. People say the universe is the world. You go outside, there are no walls outside. And what I mean by that, we as people live inside of buildings. They're called shelters, homes, apartment, condos, or buildings. If you take away the building, the physical building, the structure of the house, the apartment or condo, you have land. In order to build a building, an apartment, a house, a condo, you have to build it on top of the land. What is the world made up of, you guys? Land and water. Why do you think there are whales, sharks, dolphins, and fishes, trillions and millions of them in the sea? Why human beings can't go all the way down to the ocean? For a reason. It is a reason why people do not live in the ocean. Well, people should not want to live in the ocean, but if you do, you do. But that's a whole different experience. And realizing, once again, in order for you to have these houses, things go back to our history. And once again, the projection, like how we're taught in America, Christopher Columbus and a group of people being superior. And a lot of people want to say, well, why is everything about race? Because the people who made things about superior made it to where race was existing. People do not realize that before there was any form of separation, that there were 2 supercontinents in the world. There were only 2 supercontinents. And once again, I tell you guys to look up this information. I give you guys factual information. You could go on Google, and of course, we have the internet, so we're able to understand ourselves and figure out who we are. The internet is here, as well as the educational purposes in the books that were created for us to use and for us to understand. So really quickly, like I said, the two major supercontinents that were existing way before time, because one, when it comes to the world, like I said, if you go outside, the sky is spinning, the stars are spinning, the sun is spinning. I know you're probably thinking, well, yeah, but if you know, it's a bigger picture. So the two super, well, it was one supercontinent. That's what a supercontinent is. But the two continents that only existed, and the only reason why race was created, was Gondwana and Laurasia. I don't know if I'm saying those correctly, but you can look it up and I'll leave the information down below. The only reason why race exists is because of how far people moved from the equator. And once again, as this years continue to go on, you can look it up to 500 in May. That's way before BC and AD. And once again, it's not to say that, the books that they have when it comes to religion are false, but with everything has an agenda, including myself and explaining this. But Gondwana and Laurasia, and I will leave those information down in the link, and for you guys to sit here and look it up. And once again, that's like the dictionary and the source. The reason why I was reading the words is to refresh you guys. A lot of people read the words from the dictionary and the source, and they're so content with them, not realizing that they're letters. They don't have any value. It's how you choose to process and interpret it. Like, this life is whatever you want it to be. So you motivating yourself, is you prioritizing yourself, is you knowing your history, if you can, like your bloodline, and figuring out why you're here. We are all supernatural beings who have a lot of power. But once again, the people who control the world and have the most power, they know that. That's why specifically anybody who's a minority in America, and it's still to this day, it's unfortunate, suffer the way that they do. It's the reason why certain groups of people don't have certain privileges. Like I said, it's a reason why you have to put your race on a job application. It's a reason why certain people have certain rights and certain people don't. Like, look at the bigger picture. There are other countries, especially here in America, we are considered to be privileged, like really fortunate compared to other countries, third world countries and worlds. Like, when I've gone to different countries outside of the places like Africa, the Bahamas, Belize, you have a lot of other people who are foreign, and they don't really care for us, thinking that we don't know any better when it's not our fault. And once again, it's not all Caucasian people, because I have Caucasian subscribers who use their privileges and stand up. But why do you think TikTok is now exposing a lot of things in the world? It's a bigger picture. But once again, the two continents that started everything was Gondwana and Laurasia. But I will just leave the information for you guys. So when it comes to motivating yourself, you need to practice daily. You need to apply yourself, and you need to be true to who you are. And if you believe in something, stand on it. Once again, this channel is for people who want to understand perspective. If you guys have any questions, feel free, like I said, to comment down below. Let me know. And if you are intentionally trying to go against what I have to say or what other people have to say, live your best life. I don't focus and worry about people who are not willing to educate themselves, because if all lives matter and if everybody had equal rights, there wouldn't be division. There wouldn't be chaos. And that's not how the world is. So until people can do what they can, people will do that. So me just being a messenger, I'm just here to drop the messages for my genuine subscribers, so you guys can free yourself supernaturally from your ego, from your flesh, be your greatest version, and step into your power. So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or how anyone feels of you.